Hello and welcome from the beautiful roller coaster in the middle of the Ardennes in Belgium. We are here at Spa-Francorchamps for round 5 of the Revolution Cup Season 5. And with me again tonight is, we can already say he's kind of an RSR commentating legend, King Kodiak. Hello, King Kodiak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers and sisters. Welcome indeed to the Ardennes Forest, to Spa-Francorchamps, where the F1 circus has not long been at the time of broadcast. And we have 15 races here for Split 1 of RSR. And what a race we are in for. Spa, a favourite of spectators and drivers alike. We've got 15 of RSR's best ready to do battle in the sprint race. 10 laps for the sprint race, 20 for the feature. So, yes, all good. And we have, of course, the championship from last week was completely shaken up with the absence of this man. Puff Pirate was previously leading the way. But, of course, with Project PD getting second and first in the 2 races last week. So that's going to give Puff Pirate a lot of work to do.
Yeah, Puffy definitely losing some points, but good thing is this week a new addition to this season, not this week, to this season is the strike results. So you can have one bad weekend, to say it like this, or one missed race, and this race won't count. So it only counts 6 best out of the 7 race weekends we have this year. So Puffy still has the chance for the championship, although missing last week. But yeah, currently in the standings, Project PD is now leading because that isn't in calculation yet. So it will be affected at the end of the season. But yeah, definitely something shaking up last week. But maybe he's regaining his championship lead this week again.
Good will be. So Tauji just started his lap then. So as we follow him, he's gone up over his Radion and charging along the Camel Straight, heading towards Les Carmes. Now it's going to come down. If we get the speedo on, you can see exactly what he's doing. Now I've been told it is possible to do Les Carmes with the DRS open, but as you just saw from Tauji there, it gets very lively as they come through the middle part of Les Carmes. Now down to Brixel, turn 10. Wandered a little wide, but has kept it under control. Now toward turn 11. Gets over the right, throws it into the left. It's gone too wide. That's rather thrown that lap away, but he presses on nonetheless. Now the double left-hander, turn 12, Puon. Catches the first apex, runs over the outside rumble strip quite nicely, and follows the line through down towards Campus, 13 and 14. Over to the right, catches the apex. You don't want to ride that first apex too much because it is very, very trenched. It will unsettle the car. Now Stavilo into the turn and then floors it through turn 16 for Frey. And wanders a little wide again. The lap's rather thrown away anyway from the off he had at turn 11. Now it is of course Blanchimont, turn 17 and 18 as the Papa and Deluvia start to get their times on the board. Coming into the bus stop chicane, heavy on the brakes all the way down through the gearbox, keeps the car nice and settled, and then floors it to head towards the line. What does Tauji do? We're getting several times on the board now, and it is a 1:59.9 for Tauji, currently in 5th position. The pole time 1:55.3 by this man, Puff Pirate.
Yeah, very good lap from Puffbird, but it will be interesting what people will do strategy-wise in qualifying with this being by far the longest track of the season, with lap times near the 2-minute mark. So yeah, you don't have that many chances like on other tracks like we had last week, or especially the next race at Indianapolis, which is I think one of the shortest tracks this season. So yeah, you definitely have to plan your strategy well, otherwise you are coming in uncomfortable situations with time running out and you are far down the grid, which can be then costly going into the first corner, La Source, which is going to be, I think, a critical point in the race.
Very much so indeed. 12 of our 15 drivers have put a time on the board. Puff Pirate is straight actually back out, getting some heat into his tyres, as you can see, heading down towards Puon. 9/10 behind him is Project PD, who does have time to come out. 4 minutes 10 on the clock to go. Deluvian currently sits in 3rd in the Renault Sport car, with Tixley Stu in the Trex Energy car. That's Puon. He's just coming through now. Currently fourth. 157.2. Has a 1.8 to find. Unstopper Paul had a pretty good week last week in the second Trex Energy car. He himself is heading down towards Puon. 157.693. 2.3 to find. Miyagi in the Luigo car. Coming through campus at the moment. He's chasing. Oh, that's Algio, I believe it is. Yep, yeah, in the Farentech car. It's unfortunately set. Now, if you're both on out laps, you don't have to get out of the way of anybody, but if you're on a timed lap, you must get out of the way of the person chasing. And Colonel McCoy, what a stunner. 156.5. Sorry, 156.8. 1.5 exactly down from up out at the moment. That puts him in third. Very nicely done. He really struggled last week, is fair to say.
I think Colonel McCoy wasn't in racing last week, as far as I remember.
Was he not?
I think that may even be his first appearance this season. With him being a pilot in real life, he has a quite tight schedule.
Yes, that's
not able to race
true.
every week, but it's very nice to see him up front. So it seems like he's still well prepared, although he had missed a lot of races this season. So his goal will just be going for the best single results possible and maybe be a spoiler in the championship fight.
Absolutely. Badmerg up to 6th then with 157.646. Not a bad effort there. There was the Aladir. He's had a little bit of a mixed season in the second Sheriff It's a car. Who else have we not seen? Miyagi, who was originally a guest driver for the season, now takes control of one of the Lubigo cars. In 8th, 157, treble 9. Steve in the Panasonic car. In 11th, 159.7. Gosku in the second Renault car. That's a Renault Sport car, I should say. They're all Renaults, that much we know. These lovely, screaming Renaults. Oh, Night Tiger's just underway. Sorry, I got distracted there because I was trying to see who set it up. It is a Night Tiger in the D-Box car. 157.840. And Puff Pirates jump back to the pits. His day is done. He did not improve from that 55.358, nearly exactly a second between himself and Project PD. Oh, Cobra Snell's not set a time. Oh dear, in the second D-Box car, he's will certainly be starting from last.
Yeah, that's very unlucky. It would be interesting what happened there. Maybe he always screwed up, couldn't get a clean lap, or maybe just mistimed it and couldn't go for a run now. But I think we might see now, yeah, definitely looks like Project B is currently in a flyer, so he will try to attack Puff Pirate's current provisional pole lap. But yeah, that's definitely going to be one heck of a challenge.
Oh, Stu has actually gone up into second and gone off the road at La Source. So 156.263, 400ths of a second quicker than Project PD, and Project PD is back in the pits. Less than a minute to go, he will not have time. So great effort from Stu there to get on the front row.
That's I think that definitely was, yeah, kind of. Maybe kind of a brain fart of Project P, because maybe he didn't watch the clock, because normally I don't think I mean, he should know that time is over and there's no chance for a new lap, but yeah, I mean, still P3 should be enough. Okay.
Maybe Delivery was practicing a pit stop. Whether he actually meant to come in, because normally you would just reset to pit, you wouldn't actually drive into the pit. So I think he overcooked it at the bus stop and ended up just wandering in. Colonel McCoy is on another lap. You're absolutely right. This is actually Colonel McCoy's first appearance of the season, so welcome to you. Colonel McCoy is a driver I have commentated on before. So he is now heading down towards turn 11. Oh, a little bit wide, but is still pressing on. And again, that's a little bit wide. Well, very wide indeed on that turn 11. That is catching a few people out. Oh, like so. No sooner do I mention that Unstopper Paul goes backwards into the wall. And Deluvian is doing a practice stop at the end of pit lane. That's absolutely fine. Taoju is on a lap along with Miyagi. Where's Miyagi? He's at Puon. And Taoju's at Campus.
That's
Stavelo.
Stavelo, yeah, he's a little bit in front of Miyagi.
Let's follow Taoju then, because Zashnoom is at Campus himself, I think. So Taoju looks like he's going to cross the line next. As you can see, 70 seconds left on the clock for qualifying. Puff Pirate and Stu take the front row with Project PD and Colonel McCoy. What a great way to make your debut. 200ths of a second ahead of Night Tiger for Colonel McCoy. Taudu now coming through the bus stop. Floor it, keep it settled, DRS wide open. The overlay doesn't show very well. And does he improve? He did in time, but not in position. 158.119 and remains in 11th. Who's going to be next? Was that Ashnoon? No, it wasn't Ashnoon that was just behind him. Ashnoon is...
There was no improvement, I think, from Miyagi. He stayed the same. But yeah, Ashnoon, I think, is the last one on a flying lap. Let's see if he can improve.
Right. And he did not, so he will remain in 14th place. He'll be keeping Kobesnel and Gosku company towards the tail on the 7th row. And that is everybody. So your qualifying positions are as you see them.
So yeah, once again, Puff Parrot securing pole position, but this time in quite dominating fashion with nearly a second in front of Stu. That's surprising, to be honest. Yeah.
So there it is then, Puff Pirate taking the pole with TX3 Stu alongside him on row 1. Project PD and Colin McCoy for row 2. Night Tiger Deluve in row 3. Eladir Battenberg row 4. Unstoppable Paul and Miyagi row 5. Taudu Steve G on row 6. Gosku Ashneem row 7. And Kobesnel at the back of the field was not able to set a lap. And that looks dry to me. So cloudy, but it is bone dry. So full sprint mode then for this short race. 10 laps for the first race, 20 for the second, mandatory pit stop in the second race. So we'll see then how these guys handle these cars around this beautiful 7-meter long lap. One of the lowest, not the longest in the current Formula 1 calendar. But what we saw certainly in the race over the weekend, the tyre degradation wasn't really a major factor. So hopefully these guys will find tyre management not too bad.
Yeah, I think at least for a sprint race, tyre management shouldn't be that much of a factor. I mean, it was last week, but this week I think they should be fine. But what will be really interesting will be in the main race, we have that infamous random weather slot back. So nobody knows what will happen. It will be definitely pure surprise, and I hope we will see something to mix the action up.
Now, we don't know. We aren't told before the race begins, so we have absolutely no idea how the weather is going to form. Right, that is the 2 minutes countdown has elapsed. So we have a standing start. Then the lights are coming on. Wind them up and let them go for Spa-Francorchamps. A bit of a slow start for Colin McCoy, and Puffy didn't get a good start either. Stu's actually taken the lead already in that Trex Energy car. Puff is going to have the inside line for La Sauce, hangs on to that one. Project PD is surrounded by people. Colin McCoy hanging on to fourth. That camera's not telling us anything. You can see the top three are. Look at that, Stu nearly side by side into Overage with Puff Pirate manages to keep out of trouble. Oh, Stu got very, very bumpy there. Coming up over Radion. Oh, that's trouble.
That was Eladir going off. That was a very dangerous moment.
How did he keep that out of the wall? That was brilliantly handled there by the Sheriff of the car. 4 wide, look at this. Coming into Lake Com. How on earth can they do that without making contact? There was a tiny bit of well banging going on there by the two pairs of cars. Look at that, still side by side coming off of Lake Com, now heading down towards Bruxelles. Who is going to come out on top? And that is very brilliantly done. Oh, was that a spinner? It's Steve.
Steve spun.
Oh, in the Panasonic car, we couldn't really see. Oh, lost cameraman again. I didn't see an impact there. They were so close together. It was really difficult to tell whether he got a tap or whether he just gave it too many beans too quickly. Oh, and Steve now falls to the tail of the field. We'll see if he comes in. It'll be the giveaway of whether he's got any damage. The top 3, Project PD up to second now because he started on the second row. He has overtaken TX3 Stu coming through the field, but Puff Pirate's got himself a second lead already.
Yeah, but we have to say, very clean start, but coming back on that incident with Steve, maybe he wanted to a little bit counter the understeer that you normally have in Brussels with a little bit of throttle, and he just was too hard on the throttle, but he is already at the back of Eladir, so he was able to recover quite quickly. And yeah, I think probably Eladir has some aero damage because his car seems far slower than Steve's.
Yeah,
and Steve again off! Oh, I think that is the terminal now. That looks really terminal going off from Blanchimont.
Well, just the rate of knots. I think he may well have just opened his DRS a little bit too soon, and that is indeed the end of Steve's race. Several people in Gosku, Ashneem, and Eladir all bringing their cars in, so it wasn't as clean as we might have initially thought. For these three, that was a huge incident for Steve. The tail just got completely loose on the way down through Blanchimont. I think he opened that DRS a little bit too early. The tail did not want to stick, and that was a date with the barrier that he had then. So, and wow, look at the opposite lot. Stu had to put in to keep that car under control. There was and that was Colonel McCoy. Oh, what a shame from fourth. He's had a massive incident at Les Combes, and that's his two front wheels aren't facing in the same direction. That could well be the end of his race. That's a long way to limp home from there. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Colonel McCoy calls it a day. What a shame. He was in such a great battle there for fourth with Night Tiger and Diluvian. Yep, that is his day done. He's pulled that car over and he is retired from the race. What a shame. But that battle for fourth continues. It's Night Tiger that's got that position now in the D-Box car. Diluvian right with him in the Renault Sport car. Miyagi's not too far behind in the Luigo car. Unstoppable now in seventh. In the Trex Energy car, he's 2.5 ahead of Tauju, and not under immediate pressure. Cobusnell is behind Tauju here in 8th, so Cobusnell's in 9th. He's starting from the tail of the field. He's kept himself out of trouble. Battenberg, the second Panasonic car in opposite. Then the tail 3, Gosku, Ashneem and Eladir have had their pit stop, and out they come. They're some 27 seconds behind Battenberg, so they're going to have a race to themselves, I would imagine, but still leading the way is the Sheriff of the car at Puffbite.
Yeah, but seems like again a lot of chaos at the start of the race. I mean, Colonel McCoy really had some chances in this race, and he looked very promising in qualifying. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, kind of seems like a bit too aggressive coming out of Les Combes, and then yeah, the car snapped into the wall. But now we have Diluvian trying to prepare an attack, coming out of going into Arouge and Rally Leon, then coming onto the Camel Straight. I think that was Night.
Yes, Night Tiger.
Some people are really aggressive, I think, on the DRS. We have seen a lot of snapping rears coming out of fast corners, so...
Yeah, that's a pure case of letting the DRS kick in too early. A little bit trigger happy with that DRS button. So easy to do because it makes a huge difference in these cars. The earlier you open it, especially with a straight as long as the Camel Straight, the earlier you open it, the quicker you get building that momentum, the more that pays dividends. Look at the front though. Look at this. Stu is within half a second of Project PD, who are nearly 2.5 seconds. Well, they are 2.5 seconds down from Puff Pirate. So Puff Pirate in the Sheriff of the car is really stretching his legs. It's going to take a big mistake from him to start shuffling that order up. But Stu is not letting Project PD have it his own way. We used to see the two Ps, Project PD and Puff Pirate, having their battles. Of course, we didn't see that last week with Puffy's absence. But Stu now is really making Project PD work for that podium spot. So that looks like that's going to go on for quite some time. There's that battle for fourth position with Diluvian and Night Tiger. Night Tiger having that rather big, scary moment coming off of Radion as they now head towards the bus stop for the third time. Miyagi's fallen off the back of this. Ashneem and Gosku are still in their battle. That's for 11th after their pit stop, as Eladir's not too far behind either. So those three in a battle there for what is 11th, but all eyes at the moment on this battle for the podiums.
Yeah, but the last time around, Puff Pirate was nearly a second quicker. So the gap is growing and growing. It's crazy. And yeah, definitely the two battling doesn't really help them getting closer again to Puff Pirate. So I think if Puffy is not making a mistake, I think he's definitely taking off. And we have the next incident.
That's exactly where. That's the second car that's had a moment with that specific barrier. We saw Steve leave his car there, and Ashneem, that's going to be another trip to the pits for him. Again, that's just too trigger happy with the DRS coming off of Blanchimont. The car just will not stick at that speed through that corner as much as you like. So the temptation is to open it that a little bit too early. And that is several people, exactly as you were saying earlier, Wayfarer, that's several people that have fallen for that. But Stu's fallen off the back of Project PD a little bit. That's happened in this lap because he was actually 300 quicker than PD last time. But he's lost a good half a second, or nearly a full second indeed, in this lap alone. So Stu's had a problem somewhere, and that could release Project PD to start chasing after Puff Pirate. So we'll have to see how that one transpires.
Yeah, maybe it's again kind of the story of last week that Stu is just suffering in dirty air, especially in the second sector with a lot of mid-speed and also the high-speed corner of Pouillon. That he has just problems following the car in front and has maybe too much understeer, which is then letting his front tires suffer, and he just doesn't have the grip anymore. But yeah, last time around, Project PD was nearly equaling Puff Pirate, and Stu was about second slower. So it seems like the top three are now separating.
It looks like Stu has made a mistake. That much we identified. But I think he's may well just be struggling to kind of maintain the pace of the top two. That one mistake has cost Stu nearly a second and a half. So it's been pretty costly, whatever it was. If there's damage there, he's oops, and that's a little bit scruffy there through Les Combes. So that's going to cost him another few tenths. And that certainly is going to free up Project PD to try and chase after Puff Pirate, but that's a long way to chase down as we are fast approaching the halfway stage in the sprint race. Through turn 11 once again, now down to Pouillon. There you see Puff Pirate at the top of the shot. That is what 3.2 seconds looks like in these things. Through the double left-hander now, coming down towards campus. And yeah, everyone is fairly spread out with the exception of these two. It's the second Sheriff Itacara Veladere chasing Dosku. And there you come through Rouge and Radion. Oops, a little bit too deep on the top of Radion there for Eladir. But now that is how you get the slipstream. He's not in it early enough. He has a look on the inside of Les Combes, realises that isn't going to stick. Dosku's a little bit deep there, and the temptation is to put that DRS open and try and slide the car around. Because you can do. We've seen how many times that's caught people out already this race. And if they keep getting a little bit trigger happy, we may well see a few more into the dust.
Which we would not hope, but yeah, now a little bit of mistake of Dosku coming out of no name, now in Pouillon. Eladir is really close, but now I think he's suffering from turbulences. He's trying, you see, he's trying to get a little bit more of an inside line to get a little bit of an airstream on his front wing. But yeah, now a little bit too deep into the corner, losing a bit of time, but he would have had maybe a chance now out of Stavelot, but he messed a little bit up coming into the earlier chicane. Now up to Blanchimont, coming to the bus stop, which is also lovely, called Dutch stop within RSR because of some moves of RSR member Dutch testing in the iRacing 24 hours. Here and now round the outside.
Yeah, Gosku backed off there, he'd gone too wide whilst trying to defend through Blanchimont, and that was the end of that. And Battenberg is getting close to Tauji, so we've got a battle there for 8th place. Eladir, as we've just seen, has gone up to 11th spot with that mistake from Gosku. Gosku backed off on the exit of Blanchimont, but we'll see if he is able to continue the fight with Eladir. Battenberg in the Panasonic car gained about 8 tenths on Tauju last time in the Fanatec car, as they now come through. 11 again, wandering a little bit wide. That's so easy to do. Again, people trying to get that DRS open very, very early. Now through Pouillon, and that's a very easy corner to fly off the road on as well. And trying to get the car back, because it's so fast, trying to get the car back online can cost you an incredible amount of time. Now through Campus, and that car looks very twitchy for Battenberg, but he is keeping that one going. That's for Stavelot, but again he's a little bit too far back. He's still just over a second behind Tauju, so he's going to take a mistake from the Fanatec car for Battenberg to be pulled back into contention. Yeah, Battenberg still has to gain a little bit of time to be
a little bit closer to Tardieu. But currently it looks quite good for him, to be honest.
Into bus stop once again. See what the lap times are as they come over the line. Gosco and Neladier are still fairly close in there, battle for 11th. And over the line for Tardieu and Battenberg. Again, that's another 7/10 in favour of the Panasonic currently. He has a little bit of a twitch though under braking for Battenberg. And again, as he comes out of the corner. So this is what it looks like from Battenberg's perspective coming up Eau Rouge, through Eau Rouge and up Radion. Oh, and that's not a great line for Tardieu. Yeah, it's going to send him wide on the exit of Radion now onto the Camel Straight. DRS is going to be open on both cars, but of course Battenberg has the slipstream effect as well. We know how effective it is. Tardieu goes through the middle of the track. He does not want to let that Panasonic car through. That's going to compromise Tardieu through Les Combes. Battenberg's just going to bide his time. He's going to try and make a move on the exit of Les Combes. There he goes. Is he going to think about the inside of Bruxelles? Well defended again by the Fanatec car as they come through that 180-degree right-hander. Battenberg looked like he was thinking about an outside manoeuvre there, but decided not to. Fanatec car of Tardieu once again defending, and both cars a little bit messy on the exit of the no-name corner. Now he's not. I would be surprised if Battenberg's going to try something with Pro on, and he doesn't. Oh, Tardieu's gone very wide, coming through the double left-hander now through down towards Campers again, and Battenberg's got to do it all over again.
Yeah, but that could be a track limit warning for Tardieu, running too wide in Pouillon, but you could clearly see that Battenberg has a little bit more of pace than Tardieu, but he just can't prepare the pass yet. But maybe now into bus stop he has a chance, but he was running a little bit wide in Stavelo, so cost him a little bit of time, but very nice defended of Tardieu, especially on the Camel Straight. He was able to get a good exit out of there, even though he compromised his entry, like you said. But now, oh, Battenberg a little bit deep, but maybe he's trying to crisscross, but he's too far away. And he's getting close and start finish, so maybe there's dive coming. No, it isn't. Tardieu again defensive, now out of La Source. A little bit of power oversteer of Tardieu. I think Battenberg is now going for the overtake. Yeah. Trying them onto the motors through the Eau Rouge.
Oh,
that was close.
Oh, Battenberg's in trouble. Oh, what a shame. He made the move. He got ahead, but sadly, just the car got so light as he came up ready on. He stalled it. He's now got going again. Oh, what a shame for Battenberg. He'd done all that work. Managed to get ahead and is now facing the wrong way at the top of Radion. Is finally getting the car spun round. What a shame. I mean, Elodie is, well, there's Elodie. He's now completely broken away from Gosco.
But Battenberg's car doesn't look straight anymore. That's very unfortunate. The pass was so nice, but that's a shame.
A great shame indeed. Let's have a look on where everybody is. Just saw Puffbiner going out of the shot once again at the front and running away with it. He hasn't got Project PD in short succession. He is coming through the bus stop for the 8th time to start the penultimate lap. Project PD, the main championship contender, in second. There's Stu, who's lost a couple of seconds on the German, but looks set to continue. Deluvian has got Night Tiger for company for 4th. They're separated by only a second. Miyagi is in 6th. Oh, that's trouble.
There was locking brakes for Deluvian, and Night Tiger was able to gain quite a bit of time there.
Yeah, I wondered whether Deluvian spun there and he managed to keep it pointing in the correct direction. Miyagi is 4.5 seconds down from that particular battle. Unstoppable is completely on his own there. 5.5 behind Miyagi, 7 ahead of Tardieu, who's now shaken the tail he had in the form of Battenberg. Kobusnel in 9th position, finds himself a lonely race for him. Elodie has broken away from Gosco, as we previously mentioned. There is Gosco in the Racebrook car. Ashnu is very, very lonely back there, having been through the pits twice already in the sprint race, and continues at the back of the field. But looking at Night Tiger's time as well, 1:58.6. That's right up there with the leaders as well. So he's got a fair amount of pace, but has he got time to overhaul Deluvian?
Yeah, I mean, he still has about 1.5 laps, but seems like he lost again a little bit. It looked much closer coming out of La Source or coming over the start-finish line. But Yeah, still 1.5 laps left, like I said before. But it seems like Diluvian is again heading off a bit, but again a mistake of Diluvian, so might be the chance he needs now.
Indeed. But he hasn't got an awful lot of time to rein in Diluvian. Still 1.2 there or thereabouts between the pair of them. Through Stavolo, through Paul Frey, onto Blanchimont once again. Not too far left in this race for Night Tiger to do anything about it. That can't be Stu we just saw at the top of the shot.
I think that was Unstoppable. There's Miyagi behind them and then Unstoppable, but...
That's Ashnoon. That's Ashnoon's car.
Ashnoon, yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, Unstoppable's in 7th. They haven't lapped up to 7th, really, in the sprint race. That'd be something really major would have had to have gone wrong. Of course, Ashnoon will have to let them go. He can't hold them up. Elodie's in trouble. I just saw Elodie lost that 10th position to Gosku again. So where's that? He's had trouble down at Paul Frey and Stavolo.
I think that was at No Name now coming into Puyo.
Oh, well spotted. Yeah, that is indeed. He dropped it at turn 11, and that doesn't look particularly quick from Elodie, so he may well have damage on that car as the leaders are now on the final lap of the sprint race. That's what the lead is. Just shy of 4 seconds between Puff Pirate and Project PD. 1.6 separates Stu and Project PD as well. Diluvian looks set to keep Diluvian looks set to keep Night Tiger at bay.
But the lapping car of Ashton definitely helped.
Oh,
Diluvian, I think that was Miyagi. That was Miyagi spinning.
Yeah. Oh no! Well spotted again. So that's going to be a painful drive back. That's Unstoppable has just come through.
I mean, it's crazy. I think we had nearly half the field wrecking because of probably too aggressive use of DRS.
Yeah, absolutely. You see how carefully Miyagi's having to drive that car. He cannot keep it straight because the wheels are not pointing all in the same direction. He's having to turn left to keep it straight. Which, that's going to take a long time. That's Tauji coming up behind him. Where's Puff Pirate? Here he comes to cross the line. As he throws it into the ball now, which of course he doesn't. Your winner then for the sprint race here at Spa is the Sheriff It's a car of Puff Pirate. Project PD crosses the line 4 seconds down the road. Stu tried his best but couldn't quite hang on to the top two. He takes the last podium spot. Diluvian is going to take 4th in the end fairly comfortably. Couple of seconds in his favour from Night Tiger. Unstoppable, he'll be quite happy with that 6th position. In the end, as he streams down to the bus stop, there is Taoju coming through Blanchimont. Miyagi just saw in a reshaped car. He's still able to get the pace on. Is that Cobus now coming up behind him?
Yeah.
I'd imagine Cobus.
Yeah, Cobus was definitely getting him.
Yeah. Oh, steady Miyagi. I would imagine Miyagi wasn't trying to jump in his way. He was probably struggling to keep the car straight. So Miyagi then down to 9th. Just that one mistake cost him in the end. And over the line, I think Gosku. Oh no, Gosku and Elodie are still going. That's down at Savolo. Oh, Elodie is... Oh, Elodie with a lap down. So, yeah, so Gosku will be the last one to cross the line. Wow, what a Puff Pirate getting into the 156 is right at the end with that 156.9 just to stamp his authority on this particular race.
Yeah, quite dominant performance by Puff Pirate and a little bit of a show from Gosku.
Why not?
But yeah, that was quite a statement.
So they've confirmed finishing positions then. Puff Pirate 1, Project PD 2, Stu 3, Diluvian 4, Night Tiger 5, Unstoppable 6, Tauji 7, Cobus now 8, Miyagi 9, Gosky 10, Elodie 11, Ashnoon 12, Buttenberg, Colonel McCoy and Steve, of course, not seeing the flag. Steve not even seeing the end of the first lap in a fairly dramatic style as he ended his race at Blanchimont. But there we go. That's how race 1 ended.
Let's talk to the dominant force, Mr. Puff Pirate.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello, Puffy.
Hello.
Once again, we chat to you in our commentary box. That looked pretty comfortable for you.
That was good. It was a really, really good race, except for what was expected, the Camel Straight. It was some things rewind for a second.
It got rather busy on the first lap, but I mean, you qualified by nearly a second ahead of anybody else. You had the fastest lap right at the end, the only one to get into the 56s, and it seemed just no one had an answer to you whatsoever. Were you that confident coming into the race, or were you still keeping an eye behind you for Project PD or Stu?
I was actually expecting it to be as tight as it was now. I was really surprised to be a second up. I mean, I practiced qualifying a little bit, like I knew the tires need to be there, but I was quite surprised by the second gap, to be honest.
Well. So, what are your thoughts heading into the feature race? Is it going to be a case of run off and hope, or is it going to be a case of have you got a strategy in mind?
I mean, if it works like this race now, it would be awesome. So yeah, the goal is definitely to get pole position again, and then survive Camel, and then hope to get a clean race in clean air. But let's see if I get lucky again for a second time.
Yeah, one more question, Puff Pirate. Are you scared of the famous random slot now in race 2?
Yes, a little bit. I mean, I drove a few laps in the rain. I mean, the car is a lot more stable, surprisingly, in the rain. But yeah, I would hope it stays dry, to be honest.
Fair enough. Yeah, thanks for talking to us, and have a good one in race 2.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you, Puffy.
User was moved out of your channel.
So
Who should we grab next?
Let's see if we can get second place in here.
User was moved to your
Project
channel.
PD, guten Tag, User.
Ja, guten Abend auch.
Well, you had a lot of fighting to do early on. Stu was really keeping you company towards the beginning, but it looks like once you got into the rhythm, it was then seemed to look like you were just kind of going through the numbers and hitting the marks. Did you think that, if it wasn't for the battling early on, you could have kept up with Puff Pirate?
No, I don't think so. Puffy was very, very strong. I just don't train enough to keep on him. Yeah, I just tried to get second place. That was my plan. That works out brilliantly. I know for you want to see more action, but for me it's just a look on the championship. And therefore second place is necessary. and I do this.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Again, when you were fighting with Stu early on, did you think that battle was going to last longer, or again, were you pretty confident on the setup you had and the pace you had to that you were going to be able to keep him behind you?
It was just the same like last few races. If you are ahead after 3 laps, the second player haven't a chance to overtake you because the tires begin to overheat, and so Stu's tires overheat as well, and he do a mistake, and then the gap was big enough that I'm confident to get a second. Yeah, I tried in the last lap to get a fastest lap, but even that Puffy takes, he was just too strong here.
Awesome. Well, we look forward. Before we let you head back, you mentioned that the tyres overheating. Is that a particular problem for these cars at Spa? Is that something you really got to manage quite hard, or particularly in the feature race?
No, it is. Yeah, it don't depends on the track. It depends on the car. The cars have a lot of downforce, and when you're in this slipstream, you don't have this downforce you need, and so the tires try to get the same grip, but it isn't possible for a long time, so they overheat. Yeah, I mean, I more like touring cars because of that reason, but yeah, maybe next season.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing how you do in the feature race.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Project PD.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel.
So let's get a quick word from Stu, and then I think we should be ready for race 2.
Yes,
User was
indeed.
moved to your
There he
channel.
is. Hello, Stu.
Hey, how's it going?
All good. So, quite a battle you had early on in that one.
Yeah, I took the wrong gearing, I think, and I couldn't fight with anybody, only get overtaken.
So is that something you're going to alter for this coming race, or
Absolutely.
is it something...
Because I was on the limiter, basically, as soon as I was out of Eau Rouge.
Oh, right. So, Project BD was saying there that he thought you were boiling your tyres somewhat. So, were the tyres an issue, or was it more the gearing that you were struggling with?
No, yeah, it was just the dirty air and the short gearing and the slipstream just didn't work.
So, all changed then for the second race. Has there been any indication of what the dreaded random weather is yet?
No, I don't think they've done it yet.
Are you hoping for rain?
No, because I hate those rain tyres.
Awesome. Right, well, good luck for race number 2 then. And
Great, thanks.
hopefully we'll get trackside shortly.
Hopefully, see you soon.
See you then.
See you then.
User was moved out of your channel.
So it was gearing that was more Stu's problem.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think we will go in a short kind of commercial break so we can get filled up with energy and waters and everything else we need for exciting race 2, and we will be back shortly. So see you in a bit. Welcome back, viewers. It's time for race 2, which will start shortly here at beautiful Spa-Francorchamps. We have seen quite a crazy race in the first race, in the sprint race. Now the mystery about the random weather slot is also solved. We will see, yeah, light, medium cloud into hazy, so nothing crazy. The prayers were heard, no rain. So yeah, I will be interesting if the drivers have learned from their mistakes in race 1 about using DRS, and hopefully we don't see that many crashes anymore.
Well, indeed, yes, a few more cars towards the. We lost the 3 as such, but yeah, we don't want any more accidents going on. Hazy weather shouldn't make a great deal of difference to the performance of the cars, performance of the tyres. 4 o'clock trackside times, so the temperatures or what have you shouldn't be too much of a problem. But as Project PD and Stu both said, it's more the dirty air effect that's going to be the far bigger issue, and the sliding around that causes. So that's where particularly the time management in the longer race, because there's 20 laps now with a mandatory pit stop wherever the drivers choose to do it. I wonder if we're going to see anybody risking an early stop this time, it being quite a long lap, and of course the danger of throwing it into the wall with an early DRS deployment is very, very clear and present. I wonder whether people are going to leave their pit stops till very late.
Yeah, will be interesting, but now with the weather staying dry, people have much more flexible concerning strategy, because with incoming rain, you kind of have that window where the rain comes, where you have to pit. Otherwise, you're losing far too much time with a second pit stop. But now, with the race staying dry, you're much more open. As you said, you can do an early pit stop, a very late pit stop. Otherwise, with the rain incoming, probably all people would come into the pits within 2 to 5 laps, depending on how fast the rain is coming, but and how heavy it is hitting once it's here. But yeah, the race is staying dry, so will be interesting what approaches about strategy we will see, and if Project PD is again that close on fuel like last week.
Oh yes, that's right. We were trying to predict whether he was going to do it or not, but we will see. We will see. I mean, it's quite a high, most of the lap is on the loud pedals, so fuel is definitely something they're going to have to manage much more than some other tracks here.
Yeah, definitely. And with all that elevation changes, the fuel consumption is also a little bit higher than on other if the track would be completely flat.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I guess Project PD has learned from that dangerous situation last week and is probably adding 1 or 2 liters more than he would.
Indeed. So, qualifying again, we have all 15 cars back with us. And Project PD is not wasting any time and are getting straight out there. 2 other people coming out. It's one of the Libigo cars, one of the Renault Sports. We'll start to see who's come out. Tauji was the first man out in the Fanatec car. Eladir. So both Sheriff Fitter cars coming out pretty early on. Out comes Gosku with Miyagi. There's Project PD. And who's the Panasonic car that's come out? It's Battenberg. Hopefully Colonel McCoy has a bit more good luck. Of course, he was due to start, did start in 4th, but sadly was not able to capitalise on that impressive qualifying. Oh, that's pretty close. Just Gosku getting some space, letting Battenberg through. You don't really want to be that close to someone in qualifying.
Half Parrot is already racing qualifying. I think he desperately wants to get by Miyagi to get clean air for his first hot lap, which he now has. But yet,
indeed,
people are more stressed than in the first qualifying now coming out of the pits. I mean, I think they now know that there isn't that much time that you... If everything goes well, I think you have 3 attempts, but that's probably the maximum you have. So... Yeah,
that's the problem, is it? With Spa being such, so much longer than most other tracks that these guys use. Well, you've got to get out and get on with it pretty quickly to give yourself a fighting chance. And wow, Papa is really throwing that car around to get heat into the tyres as he comes through. Paul Frey heading down towards Blanchimont. We will follow him through when he crosses the line. It looks like he's just starting to wind that car up. He's even throwing it side by side in the middle of Blanchimont. I mean, okay, he's not completely flat, but the DRS looks like it's open, and he's throwing it left and right in Blanchimont. Only Puff Power.
Yeah,
let's follow him.
That's things you only see from Puff Power, but now he's going on his hot lap, coming into La Source. In first gear now, hard on the throttle, taking all the room he has. Trying to get a very good exit now down to Eau Rouge and Radillon. I think in qualifying they are actually doing that with DRS open, from what I've heard. Nearly no lift there.
It's brave.
Yeah, it's really brave. But yeah, they said you have just much more momentum coming onto the Camel Straight, which is crucial in qualifying. But now into Les Combes. A little bit of oversteer there, but nothing major. Now coming into Brussels. Here the car normally always suffers a lot of understeer. You saw that with that short shift into first. He tried to get a little bit more power onto the rear wheels to counter that a bit. Now through Nolan very nicely into Pouhon. And I was thinking he's running wider than he did.
What I'm seeing is he's really he's nailing the throttle to get the tail to rotate. Yeah. He's wanting to incite a lot of oversteering to his car, but I certainly noticed it when he came through No Name. There's a lot of power on understeering.
Yeah, he's definitely using the normally motorcycle tactics to steer the car with the throttle in addition to the steering wheel, which is quite interesting to see. But yeah, of course, flat from Blanchimont, now braking, very late braking into here. Hits the apex perfectly, a little bit late on the second apex. Used all the space he had, and a 1:55.479. That's quite a statement.
Wow! Considering his fastest lap in the previous race was 1:56.9, okay, he would have had fuel, well, I don't know how much fuel he had on board. We didn't look. Night Tigers has jumped into second with a 57.1. Yeah, whoops! That's one way to get rid of your tyres on the tail, I suppose. Deluvian has just DC'd him, 1:56.8 the Renault Sport car, and Stu has now got that second spot in the Trax Energy car, 1:56.7, 1.2. Oh, of course it is. Project PD less than a tenth this time behind his arch rival, and there is Project PD just coming out of the pits for another go.
I think that's Puffbird coming out of the pits, but that's more how we like it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's a real statement of intent. It looks like Project PD is pushing on for another lap. DRS open foot flat as he came up Eau Rouge and Radillon again. So there is that signature weaving from Puff Barrett. So Project PD wants to find that extra tenth. Stu third, as we said, with that 56.9. He's 1.2 behind the top pair. Delivian 4, Night Tiger 5, Eladir in 6th, Miyagi 7, Battenberg 8, Unstoppable 9. Colonel McCoy in 10th this time. Gosku 11. And we get outside of the 2-minute mark for Steve Towdy, Ashnoom and Kebersnell. Kebersnell setting a time in this qualifying session. He didn't do so last time. But all eyes on Project PD now as he's come through Pouhon, heading towards campus. He is absolutely determined. Oh, and again, you're seeing the tail of that car sliding around. Stream on down towards Stavelo. Oh, and again, right on the limit through Paul Frey. DRS open, foot flat to the floor. Heading up towards Blanchimont. The bravest of the brave will keep the DRS open. Through there, we saw it bite a few people in the last race. No such dramas for Project PD. 3 minutes 20 on the clock. Into the bus stop again. Oh, that looked very deep on the entrance. We'll see if that's cost him the valuable time. Sprints to the line. Does he improve? He does indeed. 1,000th
of a second.
And he's straight out again. Oh, no, he decided...
Yeah.
Okay, he jumped back into the pit. 1,000th of a second.
And Stu was also able to improve. He's now 0.758 of a second behind. But yeah, it's interesting to see the different approaches and strategy in qualifying. But that was a very nice lap of Project PD and 1,000th of a second. But now it's Puff Pirate's turn again.
Indeed. And this is going to be Puff Pirate's last attempt. Yeah, I don't think he's got the fuel on board to do 2 flying laps. He's absolutely determined as he comes through Les Combes, streaming down towards Bruxelles. Most people on a flying lap. If they're not out now, they won't make it. So Project PD, Stu, Eladir. Eladir's coming out, but won't beat the flag.
Seems like PD is very confident and feels like, or maybe he just feels like he can't go faster than that.
Could be. Stu's coming out, but they won't beat the flag, so they're coming out for just a bit of practice and absolutely fine. Now through campus. And there's not quite so much. Oh, that's wide on the exit, but he's able to bring the car back over to the left-hand side to come through Stavelot. Through Paul Frey, streaming on. Oh, and again, very wide on the exit. He's got to be careful doing that. Streaming down towards Blanchimont. It looks a little bit more ragged than we saw from Project PD last time. It's gonna be close. He's got the time, but he does not have the fuel. It's looking like it's just over 3.5 litres a lap. He started with 5 of them. He's only got 1.5. Does he do it? He does not. Puffbird does not beat. He does not find that 1,000th. So looks like Project PD, unless of course somebody else can dethrone him. He's pressing on anyway. Looks like he wants to improve on it. And why not? You know, he's got the time to practice it.
But I think he's still on his outlap, so...
I think he's still on the outlap, yeah.
He's definitely racing the clock now to... But yeah, should be enough. He should have one more attempt, but...
It's quite heavy on fuel comparatively.
Yeah, if it stays like this, I think this is the... Yeah, it's definitely the... I think it must be the closest margin between P1 and P2 in qualifying we ever had in the Revolution Cup, but...
Well, you can't get any closer.
Yeah, 15 seconds left, so Project PD has one more attempt.
Stu is not going to beat the clock, so unless... I mean, he's backed off. Yeah. So Stu settling for 156.2 for 3rd position. Conor McCoy is ghosted, so he will not be improving from that 6th position. 157 dead. Eladir just managed to beat the flag and is on another lap. Then Miyagi, the same, I would think, just about managed to beat the flag. Battenberg, I think, is under air control, or he's taking it slow. Yeah, he's under air control, so his day is done. Gosku is pressing on, so he is on a time lap along with Cobus now. So we do have quite a few people on hot laps. Project PD is one of them. I think he's the last man on track. Actually, he's already got the pole spot, as we know. Conor McCoy is done. Where's Miyagi? He's there. Who's the lead car on track? Battenberg is done. I think Cobus now is the lead car on track on a time lap. Oh, a bit scruffy on the exit of Stavelot. He'll press on nonetheless. Do love the roar of that Renault 3.5 engine through the second apex of Blanchimont. He is currently 203.6, and Project PD has brought his car back. His practice has ended, so does Cobus Snell finally time? Battenberg brings his car back, and he decided to go to die before the line. So there's Eladir and Miyagi, the only two still on a time lap. Both of them just coming through Blanchimont. Let's follow the second Sheriford's car as he comes into the bus stop once again. Wow, he went very early for the apex and bounces off of it. Oh dear, that's a lot of snap oversteer from his car. So that's Eladir's day done, 57.2. Does Miyagi improve from 57.6? Very, very slightly. He's found a few thousandths of a second. And that is everyone's day done.
Yeah, but Eladir was definitely too aggressive in the bus stop and was hitting the sausage curb. But yeah, would be
angriest sausage in the world.
Yeah, I mean, sausage break is after the race and not during qualifying. But yeah,
wow,
unbelievable 1,000th of a second the gap between first and second. let's hope it will be after 20 laps the same gap. But I fear we won't have any voice anymore if that really happens.
I mean, they would be sweating themselves to death, I think, if they were within a thousandth of a second or that close all race long. We saw some incredible battles last race. Anyone that's watched anything at Spa knows what this circuit is. So Project PD takes the pole this time by a thousandth, as we've said, over Puff Pirate. Stu 3, Night Tiger 4, Deluvian 5, Colonel McCoy 6, Eladir 7, Miyagi 8, Battenberg 9, Unstopper Paul in 10th position. And I think my game has just died.
Oh, that's...
Yep, my game is crashed.
That wouldn't be good.
Should be able to rejoin. Will just take me a few moments.
Yeah, but fortunately the camera is on Project PD, so you will be able to see the leaders.
I will return as soon as I can.
But yeah,
hopefully
what to expect for this race now? I'm definitely hoping for a closer battle in this race, but yeah, if Puff Pirate is able to overtake Project PD in the first 3 laps, I think, as PD said, it will be difficult for him to follow, I think.
But if anybody can, it is certainly those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, not meaning any disrespect to any of our drivers, but of course we've seen how well Puff Pirate and Project PD battle each other.
Yeah, and Stu normally also joins them for quite some fighting, but it seems like today he's a little bit struggling. And yeah, as he said, with wrong gearing in the first race, maybe he definitely has adjusted it now, but without lots of testing during a qualifying session, it's quite hard to figure out proper gearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he was probably just getting a longer final drive, and yeah, that's it, because that's the fastest change.
Right, I'm rejoining now. I don't think I'm going to beat the lights, but I'll get there as quick as I can. You'll at least get to see how our pole man does.
Yeah, but we are still waiting. Yep, people are now off the grid. The lights will turn red any moment.
Yeah, I'm back in now, so...
The lights are red, and off we go!
The Project PD has been able to have a decent start right at the front there. Stu's actually managed to overtake Puff Pirate. Be going for a very long way around the source quite safely and quite nicely done. Oh, there's trouble at the back. It's Unstoppable Paul that's gone off.
Eladir.
Along with him. And Eladir as well, yeah. But no impasse with the wall. It looks like it was just a bit of wheel banging that unsettled them a little bit. But Project PD just about hanging on to the back. Just confirm to me you're looking on board with Stu at the moment.
And PD will now be the sitting duck in front.
Oh, look at that.
Very nice side by side.
Oh, Stu! Looking to try and do something about it, but doesn't quite manage to pull that off. Stu is putting all the pressure on Puffy now. Well held, Stu. That was a bit of a hair-raising moment. And I think I may have been trouble further behind.
I think we had a car going off back there.
Oh, it was Taudu.
And probably, yeah, the outside curb is quite tricky in that corner, so maybe it was the outside curb, or it was once again the very deadly DRS.
Oh wow, Stu going a little bit wide there, coming through Blanche. Can I just confirm that when I'm changing view, you're seeing it at the moment? Yeah. So we're looking at, you're looking at Puff Pirate at the moment.
Exactly, yeah.
That's another day. Having a look at the inside of Gosku coming into campus. Because I've rejoined, my race feed box works, so I now can see when when position changes happen. You can see Ashnim and Cobus now. Oh, that's very twitchy. It's very lively coming out of Stavalo. They've managed to keep the car on the straight and narrow. But it's Project PD's chance this time to try and stretch his legs at the front. 0.8 of a second to separate him and Puff Pirate. Stu's hanging on in there. Half a second behind it. Oh, wow, that was very deep into the bustle. That's put Puff Pirate right on Project PD's case. And see, Stu's got a pretty decent view of the pair of them as they're going to come into the source. And Puff Pirate had a look at that, but again, a bit of a lock-up then from And that's Unstoppable has brought his car in. We saw him having that tangle with Adadir, so either he's got something to sort out on that car or he's looking to get his pit stop out of the way early on. Tauju, of course, will bring his car in as well. Oh, what a run up Rouge and Radion for Stu and, well, indeed for the top three. As they're now streaming it on down towards Laycom once again. Puff Pirate looking to try and get that outside move. Coming into Laycom, he's got it done this time, and we have a new leader. But all three of these guys really struggling to keep their vehicle. Oh no, that's PD.
That's PD, and it's coming back to the track. That's very dangerous, very dangerous.
Wow. That was a very hair-raising moment. That's dropped him all the way to 7th, then. He puts himself right in the midst of the field. And if there's damage on that car, he's got a long... Wow!
That car isn't straight anymore. That car isn't straight anymore.
No, that's a very long... Ow! And that's another impact with the wall for PD, down to 11th now. He's struggling so much to get that car straight. And that right behind, that's Cobus now that's got to be very careful of a very wayward Project PD. Oh, he's banged into the wall again. Oh, what a shame for Project PD. And look at that. Just the car just will not be straight. I mean, the way he's spinning it. That's a rally crossing car now.
But yeah,
oh, Puff Pirate's down to 6th. Oh, no. So as we looked away, Puff Pirate's had a similar problem. I was just looking at the gap thinking, wow, it's 3.5 seconds. And look, the Sheriff Car can't stay straight either. So Puff Pirate's had an argument with the wall as well. So it's not all just completely gone to Puff Pirate's way, and look, you can see the angles he's put in again. He's turning right to stay straight.
There's definitely some aero damage, but I just wanted to say that's definitely not good for PD's championship hopes. And Puff Pirate is coming to the pits as well. Will Project probably do, but also Colonel McRae. But again, chaos in the opening laps.
Absolutely, but oh, that's Unstoppable. There's a Project PD. There he is. Oh, and he's actually spun coming through Blanchimont, which I'm not surprised considering. If you go on board, we'll see. Look how much he's having to fight that car to get it. It will not go straight, no matter what he tries to do. Finally brings that car in. That's down to 13th place. So Stu now leads the way in the Trex Energy car. So he'll be quite happy with the fact that his main two rivals for the top honours in this race have had trouble. But this is going to be an amazing fight back for both Puff Pirate and Project PD as they finally brought their cars in. Colonel McCoy is just leaving the pits, so he'll probably be quite surprised that the two behind him are still there. He was in there quite a while as well, so he must have had some damage. Let's see who's still having a fight. Stu is got a 3.5 second or 3.7 second lead over Night Tiger. Is in second position. There is the D-Box car. Miyagi's got Battenberg for company, so they're having a pretty good run so far, 3 and 4. You just saw Deluvian in the background there. Steve, who didn't see the end of lap 1 last time around in the Panasonic car, has got Eladir for company there in 6th. Gosku is there in 8th position. Ashnoon, who had that very early pit stop. Oh, that was kicking up a bit of dust there on the exit of... where I've lost track of where they are.
They are at Stavelo, but Project PD is in danger of going a lap down. He's still in the pits. Lengthy repairs for him.
Puff Pirate is on the way again, so he is on the move. And Stu, yep, he's actually put Project PD a lap down. You can see if we bring up the map, that's how many cars have gone past him to put him a lap down. That's actually most of the field. Only 3 cars won't have come past by this stage. So that is going to be a very long day for.
If Project PD wouldn't have gone a lap down, he would be probably able to go much quicker, and Battenberg running very right coming out of Radillion. But now with being a lap down and being within cars that are a lap ahead of him and unlapping himself is always a very dangerous game and isn't very well seen, or people don't like to see it. So Battenberg very sideways.
That's actually Tauju in the Fanatec car. He's a lap down from this particular battle, so he's not involved in it. But wow, that's Deluvian. Keeping Battenberg getting very sideways coming through Bruxelles, but able to keep it on the straight and narrow. Deluvian got very, very crossed up there coming through No Name. Oh, Battenberg's in trouble. Yeah, he's had, and he now has a crabbing car as well.
Yeah.
So it's proving quite a chaotic race.
And
Oh,
Gosco.
Gosco! In exactly the same place.
Was there maybe some contact between Battenberg and Gosco? Kinda seems like. But our favorite chicken, Cluck, was asking what happened. Yeah, basically, two
Chaos
of our
was
three
happening.
leaders had a date with the wall.
Yeah.
And yeah,
very early on.
pure chaos once again, like in race 1. But yeah, probably there was some contact between Gosco and Battenberg, as now Battenberg is also behind Gosco, which is normally the gentleman rule. If you have contact with someone, you give that position back. Or it's maybe
I'm not sure
just...
Battenberg's got a choice though.
Yeah, true. But still, Battenberg is one of the nicest drivers on track, and he's always playing by the gentleman rules. So probably that was also his intention, but his car doesn't look very good anymore. But with now Cobblesnell again very well in the mix.
As Ashlund already ahead. That's
Project,
PD.
That's PD 1 lap down.
Yes, indeed.
He will try to unlap himself.
So if we look at the map, you can see the next car along, which is Taudu, is on the Camel Straight. So he will, and Project PD, I'm sure, will be able to find his way past those around him. There he goes. As that's Battenberg has made it back to the pit, so he's going to be in there quite a long time. Oh, Unstoppable and Colonel McCoy are having a battle there as well, as they are coming through the source themselves. But there are still battles going on. But yeah, to summarise, Project PD had a massive spin up here at, or just after Lake Com, and had an argument with them all. We didn't see what happened to Puff Barrett, but Puff Barrett is a long way down. He's just taken 12th from Battenberg, but he's got himself 20 seconds to get to Unstoppable to get further up the field. So it's very, very spread out, very, very early on. But I don't think anybody is trying an early pit stop out of choice. It's just, and that's the way that it's happened, mainly through damage.
Yeah, but yeah, and to come back to the incident, Puff Barrett's incident was somewhere in the area of Stavelo. But unfortunately we don't know what happened. But I think for Puff Barrett, if his car is again working somehow, or if it's working nearly as it's intended, I think he probably has the possibility to catch Unstoppable. I think Colonel McCoy with... maybe Colonel McCoy is also possible with only being 3 seconds in front of Unstoppable, but afterwards he definitely needs a miracle.
Well, bearing in mind that everybody ahead of Puff Barrett will have to pit, so... And Puffy's got a full tank of fuel on there, so he won't have to come in again unless he has damage.
Exactly. But there's he will probably still suffer with the tires a bit at the end of the race, so he's probably not able to do his normal pace anymore. But yeah, we will see. We will keep an eye on them. We are only in lap 6 of 20, so only 1/4 of the race done.
Yeah, long way to go. And with the incident we've already seen, and what we saw in the sprint race as well, anything can happen. But let's have a quick rundown of who is where, as Battenberg and Taudu are having... Oh, Battenberg's off again. He stalled it. That is... Where is he? That's at the exit of Lake Com.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Battenberg's race has just gone from terrible to disastrous. Looks like he's struggling to get the car back going again. He is now moving very, very slowly, as that's one of the Renault Sport cars coming through. Is he keeping it straight? Did he hit the wall? Bear in mind, he's just been through the pits.
Yeah, I think he probably hit the wall or spun out at the exit of the comp.
It looks like he's keeping the car kind of... I think he's intentionally weaving there because his tyres are going cold. So I think that there's no damage on the car, or minimal damage.
Or maybe he was just checking if the steering is still straight and the car is still responding how he wants it.
So the closest on-track battle we have is here for 7th position, Ashley and Cobblesnell. Already in higher positions than they saw themselves finish in the sprint race. 57.8 by Stu, so he isn't slowing down at all. New fastest lap of the race. Curtis now is getting very close to Ashley there as they come into the bus stop. Oh, that's steep for Ashley. Oh, I thought Curtis was going to come in the pits then.
No,
So Ashley.
it was
Could be
just...
that he was.
Oh, continue, Cody.
I think we're both trying to say the same thing. He was probably giving Ashton the space to come back on track. Oh, and
Exactly.
Curtis now went deep in the source. And oh, they're going to be side by side into a rouge. It looks like it. Who's going to be the first to blink here? It's Kobusnow's just ahead, and Ashley opted for the safer option. A little bit early in the race to be trying desperate moves like that coming through. Rouge and Radion now onto the Camel Straight, and already Kobusnow staying to that inside line. But Ashley's too far back to be making a move from there. They will settle into their rhythms. Ashley then getting a big old faceful of dirty air. So he's going to have to manage that until he brings his car in. But Stu leads the way by about 6 seconds. We just lost Battenberg. Battenberg has called it a day again. His race this will be one that he'll want to forget. Oh, fastest sector 2. Night Tiger is on the move. So the D-Box car of Night Tiger now starting to get into his rhythm. Of course, now I have my race feed box working. It tells me who is setting fastest sector times. He's not letting Stu go, so that's absolutely fine. I would imagine anyone that hasn't pitted yet will be bringing their cars in around the halfway point, unless they decide to run long. I've got plenty of fuel to go on. We were looking at about 3.7 or 3.8 litres of fuel per lap, so we've got quite a few laps on board. Deluvian and Miyagi aren't too far apart. That's third and fourth. The Luigo car of Miyagi being chased by the Renault Sport car number 2 of Deluvian. They come through the source, so Miyagi isn't in immediate danger but can't relax too much. 57.8, another 57 on the board by the Trax Energy car of Stu. And Ashnoom has brought his car in. Looks like by choice this time.
Very, very interesting approach again. But yeah, although Night Tiger had the fastest sector 2 last time around, he still was 0.6 of a second slower than Stu the last time around, which increased the gap between the first two to 7.5 seconds. So the gap is growing.
Indeed. So Stu's got the pace everywhere else, but
Yeah.
they just got a notification that Night Tiger got that fastest sector 2. Wow, that's determined, Stu. That's opting for that very oversteery setup to get the car rotated around.
Yeah, Stu is normally always someone who is driving extremely oversteery setups, which is making him very, very fast, but he often suffers from too oversteery setups, which, yeah, are trying to kill him and forcing him into mistakes. But currently it still works, but I don't think he has to push that much. Maybe it's that kind of the guy of driver that needs to push 100% all the time and to not make any mistakes and to stay concentrated. Because otherwise, with that big of gap, and we have Steve G running a little bit wide here.
Yeah, that is indeed. Steve in 6th. Project PD's just gained that 13th spot from Taudew, so whether there was something going on or whether it could be Taudew trying to get out of Steve's way, Path Pirate's on the back of Unstoppable, so he's not wasted any time whatsoever in trying to close the field down. Now, Unstoppable has every right to try and defend against Puff Pirate, and I think he opted not to.
Yeah.
Which, you can understand that.
But definitely a little bit surprised by that. I was maybe thinking around lap 15 that he's coming close to Unstoppable, but already in lap 8. Maybe there was a mistake by Unstoppable, but...
I think so, because Unstoppable had a 2:04 lap, so he lost 6 seconds on the last lap.
That was definitely a mistake.
Now, Deluvian, I keep getting the marker for Deluvian, so he's getting close to, oh, look at the lap times of Deluvian to Miyagi, just 500ths between them.
Yeah, they are currently quite even, but Deluvian is coming a little bit closer. But that will definitely be the fight for the final podium position. I mean, when the aliens that normally reign at the front are doing mistakes, you definitely have to use that. And that's what they are currently doing. Normally they are, yeah, top 5 guys, but today is the chance to hop onto the podium. And they are trying everything to be able to achieve that.
Absolutely. Again, that fastest sector 2 time seems to be the one that's contested between Stu and Night Tiger. Stu just claimed it, and then Night Tiger claimed it back again. So Night Tiger is losing quite a bit of time elsewhere, but it seems to be that second sector where Night Tiger seems to come alive. Well, I think that's from somewhere around Bruxelles down to Stavelo. I think it's that twisty section there. So it looks like Night Tiger's running a bit more wing than Stu is, I would think.
Yeah, most probably. I think it's already from the exit of Le Camp to Stavelo. But most likely that Night Tiger is running a little bit more downforce, and I mean Stu is known for trimming out as much as possible on his setups, so he's probably running as low on downforce as possible, and Night Tiger more on the safer approach with a little bit more downforce, costing him on the faster sections of the track, but giving him incredible pace in the second sector, which is a little bit tighter and filled with a lot of corners. And we have now Gosku coming into the pits for 4 new Michelin tires and probably a bit of fuel.
I would imagine so. Stu's got to come in this time. He does not have enough fuel to do this plus 1 more.
Okay. And Puff Barrett is on the attack against Ashnum, which was
Ashnum jumped out of the way again. Yeah, Ashnum jumped out of the way of that one. Again, you as a driver know realistically who you're in a fight with. He's opted not to cost both of them time for him to defend against a fight he's not realistically in. Oh, Stu, my God, you're determined. As he's come through Stavelo. If he does, I don't think he's going to risk another move, another lap rather. Unstoppable has brought his car in.
Coming in.
He was very heavy on fuel, interestingly. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. But is that maybe causing some problems for the T-Rexergy team, because double stacking in the pits is a quite dangerous strategy. So we have now Unstoppable coming into the pits, and now also Stu. So hopefully Unstoppable is already finished with his pit stop once Stu is arriving. And now Night Tiger also coming into the pot, and it worked out.
That's a weird visual glitch there. I mean, in this race they don't share pit boxes like they do in Formula 1. So
that's true.
So wow, one of them's back underway quickly. Oh, Night Tiger is struggling to hit his marks. That's a very weird visual glitch for us. They're not moving around like that. Stu was really quick to get back underway, so he was not stationary long at all. Night Tiger's back underway, so pretty sure. Yeah, big stop for Unstoppable. He'd already been in.
So damage.
Yeah, that's a shame for Unstoppable. He had a pretty good run last week in Catalonia, so it was a shame that it's gone the way it has. Steve is having a much better race this time. He's gone through to lap 11. He'll be in soon. Miyagi is now leading the way in the Luigo car. He will be in at the end of this one. Diluvian right with him. He will also be in, looking at the fuel amount. Aladir up to 3rd. He could well continue another few laps if he so chose to. That is not Stu. That's Project PD in the background.
But
so
he's still 1 lap down.
He is, but he is pressing on. So Stu is actually directly behind him. So where Stu was battling Project PD for position previously, that's where they currently sit, but there's a lap difference between Stu and Project PD. Steve up to 5th in the Panasonic car. That's Taoju, you can see in the Fanatec car, who is on a different lap, who's a lap down to Steve G. There is Night Tiger, who's been through the pits just now, with his own teammate directly behind of Kobusnel. So the 2 D-Box cars running fairly close, but Kobusnel has yet to come in the pits. He only has 10 litres on board. Colonel McCoy with just shy of 50, as the cameraman is a little bit lost. That is one of the track safety cars. Oh, impact between the two. That's Unstoppable that's just come out. So yeah, and Unstoppable. That's a bit interesting. Miyagi and Diluvian have both come in. That could be a little awkward for... That could be a bit awkward for Colonel McCoy if that's caused any damage. It wasn't a very heavy hit, so it probably didn't.
Yeah, it wasn't a heavy hit, but with these cars, the smallest hit can also cause a lot of damage. And it seemed like Diluvian's pit crew was very fast in the stop. Maybe he's able to jump Yagi coming out of the pits.
Steve is in.
Steve is in, Yagi coming out, and it seems like Diluvian right behind him.
Yeah, right behind him. So that battle does continue almost exactly as it left off. Steve, yeah, very strange visual bug for me.
Yeah.
You see him jumping backwards as well.
No,
Oh no, on my screen he comes to rest and then slides backwards. Everybody's been doing it. So must just be for me then.
For me the car's actually kinda hopping around a little bit. as if they're on a little trampoline.
Colonel McCoy then goes up to 7th with Steve's pit stop. Steve should be back on track. There he is. That's Puff right behind him. So because Puffy having to take his pit stop probably earlier than he would have liked, he's now right with Steve for that 8th position. And that's the battle still with Diluvian and Miyagi raging on. That's still only 1.5 seconds or thereabouts between them. Puff Pirate is closing in on that Panasonic car of Steve. Will Steve try and hold up Puff Pirate? No one has yet put a challenge to Puff Pirate. He's just been blasting past everybody. And well, yet again we see another very oversteery car in the form of Steve. Now coming down through Bruxelles. And there's another example of an oversteery car. Puff Pirate kicking the tail of the Sheriff Pizza car. And there again, does a huge understeer at that one moment when he needed the bite, just slides off the track. As Eladir, the second Sheriff Pizza car, comes in.
Yeah, as you said, he was going a little bit long on his first stint. Maybe he was probably just more comfortable on going a little bit longer and thought maybe he can make the overcut work, but as it seems now, even P7 is possible for Puff Pirate with Colonel McCoy only roughly 10 seconds in front of them. And with Puff Pirate's current pace, I think he will be able to catch P7, but first he has to get Steve G, which is showing a little bit of resistance. But now going into the bus stop, I think, yeah, coming up to the outside. Yeah, Steve G is doing the clever move, backing out and letting Puffy go.
He knew that one was done, and Cobusnell's in, so that's going to give... Is Cobusnell on the way in? No, so that's... oh, now he is, so Cobusnell's had his pit stop, so that gives Puff Pirate 7th, Steve 8th. There's Ashnoon. Ashnoon's gone over the line. Is Cobusnell going to beat him out? Oh, it's going to be a bit close, but Cobusnell comes out in 9th position, just ahead of Ashnoon. Diluvian is right with Miyagi now, so it looks like Miyagi has made a mistake somewhere on that outlap because there was a huge time difference between the pair of them. Diluvian not yet able to get that position from that car. He's been chasing for so long. So that battle very, very close. 4/10 between them. Now coming through Puon. And it's going to be Diluvian that really suffers. And there is the effect of the dirty air. Just sent him miles wide. Needing that aerodynamic efficiency that is just completely missing with that car already ahead of him. Night Tiger back in 2nd position with 17 or nearly 18 seconds down from Stu. Stu returning to the lead. Only half a second between the pair of them last time around. Eladir in 5th after his pit stop. Very good effort there. Well, what's Puffy from Colonel McCoy? Colonel McCoy is 8 seconds ahead of Puff Pirate. So it's with, what have we got, 7 laps to go at the end of this one. It's certainly doable for Puff Pirate, but much beyond that, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult, but if Puffy is able to continue his pace like he was doing before the last lap, I think it could be close, but he might be able to make it.
I wonder if Ashneed's in trouble, because Gosku's just breezed past him, and that was very slow from Ashneed.
Oh, and we just got a statement by Bettenberg. He hits the curb, the entry curb into the no-name corner, and just spun around. There was no contact with Gosku, so that were 2 independent incidents. Thanks for the info, Bettenberg.
Thank you, Battenberg. Gosku had a sympathy spin then with you. But yeah, Ashneem's in trouble. I suspect we're going to see him in the pits again. Because, yeah, it's not as fast as he could be in that particular car. But Diluvian is right with Miyagi still. 4 coming through Lake On. Wow, that is exceedingly close. He had to get out of that. Otherwise, he was going to be pushing the Luigo car along. Into Bruxelles once again. I think that's just a different choice of line. Indeed, Ashley does bring his car back into the pits. Well, there's that tail going. Luvian's car fighting much better than we've seen from Puff Pirate. Sorry, Stu that has the massively understeering car there. Now comes through. On. Bringing on down towards Campus Chicane. Miyagi has. Oh, and Diluvian's gone deep in the first apex. He's going to compromise his exit. And wow, there's that tail that wants to try and see where we're going. Now through Stavolo. And that's that just lost of traction there for Diluvian. It's cost him a good 410. So that's going to really kill any opportunity to try and attack Miyagi into the bus stop chicane. That battle's still got a long way to go.
And now Diluvian has to work again to get again at the back, right at the back of Miyagi, which is definitely costing him a lot of concentration and also maybe a lot of tires. But
oh, PD's in. Project PD's in the pits. Oh no!
No!
He's spun it. That's in the pit lane entry.
I think he's stuck. Yeah. As you say,
he is actually stuck.
Oh my god.
That is not going to get out of there, I'm afraid. No matter how much you read that, Project PD is out. You're not... He's going to try and get that car out of there. We can't look at that by any other means. I don't think it's going to come out. No. I admire your determination, but that is not going to go.
The question is, why is he pitting again? I mean... Are his tires already dead, or...
You would assume that... I mean, his last lap of the 56... He was the only man in the 57's last lap.
Exactly.
So, he had the pace, but whether he made a mistake... He's determined to get out there, isn't he? That's very much Austin Powers, this particular scene, isn't it? Oh, he's nearly there. Can he do it? And he has as well.
Yeah, he has done it.
Unstick it. I'll give you your due, PD. That was an incredible amount of determination to do something with that car.
I mean,
the car's ruined now, but
if he finishes, he's getting 14th place, which is still very well in the points. And with a DNF, you get 0 points. So
I think this one,
this could be the moment. That was gaining him the championship. But yeah, Diluvian running very right out of Stavolo.
I would imagine, you were talking about the race that gets struck off the record at the end of the season. I suspect this one might be Project PD's unless he has a DNF somewhere.
Yeah, but even if it counts, the few points he's gaining could be deciding. And that's why he tried at all costs to get his car somewhat out of the misery.
Yeah. And as we've already seen with Puff Pirate being in 7th, not right at the top as we're used to seeing him, even the greats make mistakes. So it's a simple case of you never know, never ever give up. And Diluvian is back on the case of Miyagi. He's closed that gap down a little bit more. So he hasn't given up on that battle for 3rd position. It is a podium that they are fighting for. They've both been through the pits, so they can't rely on strategy to deal with it. That is Tauji's car that's just gone through the shot. Diluvian is gaining, but not enough to do something into Lake On, but he's going to be right under that rear wing yet again. Tauji could play a bit of a part in there. Of course, the Fanatec car is going to have to jump out of the way. Oh wow, just look at the tail of both of these cars. They are dancing around through these corners. Through Bruxelles once more. Oh, Diluvian's gone a little bit deep. Pull that back without too much bother. Now down through a no-name corner. Heading down towards Puon. Cowdy's still a little way down the road, so he's not going to be in the way of this just yet. Oh, okay, that's really exploring the inside line. It was legal. There were still two wheels on the track, but you don't really want to be doing any grass cutting through that. Not going to gain you any traction, certainly. Now through campus. Gap has dropped a little bit between Diluvian and Miyagi. It's through Stavolo. Into Paul Frey again. car just sliding over the rumble strip a little bit further than probably Diluvian would have liked.
But the time lost this time for Sector 2 wasn't that much than the laps before, so Diluvian is now a little bit closer than the laps before, and we now see the weather going more and more into hazy, so we have a little bit of light fog cover around the track, but shouldn't be any issue for visibility.
No, indeed.
Maybe now this time on the camera straight, Diluvian has the chance because it's much closer than the laps before.
Yeah, Miyagi didn't get a good... Oh, and that's a very squirrely Renault Sport car for Diluvian as he's come through the source. He's much closer heading into Eau Rouge. Is he going to be able... He needs a good run through Radion. Oh, and that's in the slipstream. The tail going to be lively, but he's got a much better rate of knots coming through Radion. Side by side now, and Miyagi's got nowhere to go. Taoju gets out of the way. He's going to have to stand with the brakes, otherwise it's going to be 3 wide into Lake Com. And, that's in between the two. Diluvian trying to get back onto the racing line, but Miyagi was still there. So that spun the car around. That's allowed Taoju back through again. And so he's got to do all over again. That's Aladir that's catching up to them. So this could be a 3-way battle before the end of the race.
The main winner of that battle is definitely the quick Swiss of Aladir.
Yeah, there he is, now less than 2 seconds behind this particular battle. He was actually lapping quicker than the pair of them. After the round, Taoju getting out of the way again. And here we go, once more, Diluvian on the back of Miyagi. So Miyagi wasn't he probably kind of slowed down to allow Diluvian to catch up again, but the move was not complete when he tried to return to the racing line. But wow, that's committed from Aladir. But I think Taoju was just slightly unfortunately placed there. It wasn't anyone's fault. I don't think Aladir could have quite taken the racing line because the Fanatec car was there. But once again, there it is for Diluvian. He's got 3 and a bit laps left to complete this move. And with Aladir on their case, it's not going to be easy for any of them.
No, it definitely isn't. But if we're lucky, we will see a 3-way fight for the final podium position, because if they continue battling... Oh, and now we have Diluvian on the inside and again spinning.
What a... I mean, that was... I think that was just a case of Diluvian missing his braking point there. It looked very determined, just could not... I mean, these things don't have ABS, they don't have anti-lock brakes. Couldn't slow it down any quicker, and round he went. And Puffy's on the back of Colonel McCoy. That's the 6th.
And he has 3 more laps. So, and I mean, if Diluvian is doing 1 more mistake, he could even reach P5, because that's only 5 seconds.
Very true. Very true. Diluvian lost a huge amount of time. Just lost 10 seconds. And that one issue alone, that's going to put Aladir on Miyagi's case pretty soon, but is it going to be soon enough? Less than 2 seconds between himself and Miyagi, so Aladir could steal that podium position that Miyagi's had for so long. It is not safe. He's lost 1 car and gains another one. Puff Pirate, he's right with Conor McCoy. Is Conor McCoy going to let him go? No. It did look like he was going to let him go on the entrance of Lake Com. He decided to return to the racing line, as he's perfectly entitled to do. Conor McCoy could make Puffy fight for this.
Yeah, and I mean that's his right, and Colonel McCoy is normally someone who is driving driving similar pace to Puffy. And I think currently, yeah, okay, Puffy was 1.5 seconds quicker the last time around, but I mean, Colonel McCoy could make him really work hard for this, because the gap, or the lap time gap, isn't that big than it's to others currently. But yeah, it's about 2.5 more laps to go, so still a bit of time for Puff Pirate before he was running right there a bit. But now there are also tires. Maybe the tires are coming a little bit into play. I mean, he's on this set of tires, I think, for now 14 or 15 laps, so tires are already quite old.
Running it a bit close on fuel, but nothing too bad. Oh, he's having a look. Oh no, he doesn't go for it. And again, Colonel McCoy went for an early apex then, so I think Colonel McCoy's actually making Puff Pirate work for this particular 6th position. As we have 2 laps to go, as you think about it, Puff Pirate got plenty of fuel on board. He's going to have it, and again, Colonel McCoy going to defend the inside line at La Source.
Half Parrot trying the over-under, but not working.
Not just yet. So now heading down to Eau Rouge. Sheriff Car in prime position to attack on the Camel Straight. Now up Radion. Through onto the Camel Straight. On board again with the Sheriff Car, and the mere rate of knots he had coming out of the top of Radion. Colonel McCoy knew he had no answer. It doesn't jump to the inside line, and Puff Pirate now up to 6th position. Colonel McCoy could look to attack to try and get that position back, but with the lap time differences we've seen between the two, Colonel McCoy may just let that one go.
Yeah, I mean,
the other Sheriff Car's having a go at Miyagi though.
Elodie definitely catched up to Miyagi, or is in the progress of catching up. Still has
not long left though.
1.5 lap left, yeah, as you said. But yeah, the problem is Sector 2. There normally the guy following is losing a bit too much time in my taste.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the penultimate, penultimate time through Portray down to Blanchimont, Elodie has got some work to do. He's been quite a bit quicker than Miyagi leading up to this point. Oh, is he gonna? I thought he was going to have a look at the inside of the bus stop for a second there, but opts not to. But now or never then for Elodie to claim that podium position, or for Miyagi to defend against the second Sheriff Car. Lap 20. Oh, that looked a little bit sideways there from Miyagi, but he has kept it under control through La Source. On board with Elodie, coming down towards Eau Rouge once again. Can Miyagi get a good run? It's always very difficult to defend on the Camel Straight, as we've seen time and again. A good run for Elodie, and it wasn't quite as good for Miyagi. You can see the pace difference. Miyagi stays to the inside to try and defend, but the pace difference from Elodie is just too great. But Miyagi's staying right there. Can he outbrake the Sheriff Car going into Lake Com? He does. Side by side, there's a second exit. Elodie's had to back out of it. Brilliantly defended. Whoa, nearly impact coming out of Lake Com. Great defending there by Miyagi.
Yeah, very well done by Miyagi, and also nicely done by Elodie going side by side into Lake Com. But now it's getting difficult for Elodie.
Oh, Stu's in trouble! Oh no, he's got massive impact. He's missing a lot of front of the car. Night Tiger's now gone through.
That will be the great surprise. Night Tiger's going for his maiden victory in the RSR Cup. What?
Oh my goodness me! Talk about. There's another prime example. You can't relax either. Elodie pushed too hard. Oh, he's kept it, but he's ruined his chances to attack Miyagi again. But Night Tiger in the final lap coming through Stavolo. He's taken the lead and he's going to take the win unless he bins it now. And you're going to think last lap was a 57.9 from Stu, but your winner in the feature race in the D-Box car is Night Tiger.
Maiden victory.
Stu, where's Stu gone? Oh no, Stu's parked it. Oh
what?
No!
What's that? Sorry that I'm saying it. Hell is happening here.
We very much so. So that's second for Miyagi, third for Elodie. So we've got the podium anyway. Deluvian is going to come across the line in fourth. Puff Parrot for 5. Colonel McCoy is going to take 6. Stu is gone. Oh no, for leading the race almost the whole way, and it's all unravelled in that final lap. Dave is going to come home in 7th place, and and that's Stu's gone. He's not even on my list anymore, so he has actually retired from the race. 7th. Wow, nice sideways from Cobus now. He is probably happy about that. There's Gosku. I think it was actually at Blanchimont that we saw Stu park it as well. So he was so close, just 3 turns from home.
But yeah, good thing we are not betting on these races.
Whoa, that's Gosku! He's still got 4 wheels on the car. Where's Ashnu? Ashnu's already finished, and Gosku will be 9th because everyone else was a lap down and already classified as finished. That's an exceedingly... I wonder if he was just going to jump over the bus stop there, but he did actually take it properly. Oh, that's no Conway. Gosku, come back. Okay, take the bus stop again.
There is the finish line, yeah.
Talk about a crazy race.
That was really crazy. I just wanted to say good thing we didn't bet on this, because we would have lost a lot of money.
So Night Tiger taking the win. The Dutchman taking the win then. Miyagi 2, Elodie 3, Deluvian 4, Puff Pirate 5, Colonel McCoy 6, Steve 7, Cobra Snell 8, Gosku 9, Ashnoon 10, Tauju 11, Unstoppable 12. Project PD was, of course, he had to come into the pit again after getting wedged in the pit lane entry. And Stu and Battenberg are retirees. Oh my word! Well,
Yeah.
at least we get to speak to some different people this time.
That was what I just wanted to say, and I think we should get the winner in already, because we're already getting
certainly.
again late. But yeah, let's talk to Night
User
Tiger.
was moved to your channel.
Hi.
Well, hello, Night Tiger. That was a bit of a surprise.
Yes, it's just I don't even know what's happening.
I mean,
My God.
yeah, wait for it. Just said it's a good thing we didn't bet on that, because there's no way on earth you'd have betted on that result. But I mean, you were having a really strong result coming your way anyway, and then suddenly Stu falls off.
Yeah, I don't know, but I was just I was really happy with, I think the second qualifying 4 was really good. Had a good start, just slotting in behind the fast guys. And I was like, yeah, just keep it consistent and see what happens, because the gap with Miyagi behind was pretty great, and with the dirty air, I think, yeah, I'll just drive consistently and all will be all right. And then suddenly, I think Project PD was sideways after Lacombe's on the track, so I had to avoid that. And then after that, on the left-handers, Buff Pirate was in the wall, and then we're like, whoa, what's happening here? All right, well, consistency for the win. And then suddenly, and the last 2 laps, I was like, okay, relax, don't make any unforced errors, it's in the bag. And then I saw Stu suddenly just driving slowly. I'm like, God, what's happening here? Oh, I'm really happy with this result.
I can imagine so. But I mean, even so, like you say, you were still on for really, really strong results. So, I mean, did you have any kind of thought that you would be towards the sort of podium 3, even, you know, with craziness not in the equation? Because you were there on merit. That was all you.
Yeah, I thought, I guessed myself for this rate 5, top 4. And it was all about positioning also in the first lap. But yeah, I was confident I could get P4, and then yeah, let's see what happens. And I don't believe what's happening here. Really, I don't know. Have you seen it on stream? What happened?
No,
Unfortunately not. We just saw Stu's crawling car.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
I mean, we was keeping an eye on battles behind you. Suddenly, I look up and see the gap is like 1.5 seconds. Look to Stu, and his car is heavily bent.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it was a long time ago since I had a podium in the season. I think 2 seasons ago. Sometimes it worked out, but a victory in the cup never happened before. So I'm super happy with this one.
Well deserved, well played, and yeah, we look forward to the next one.
Yeah, me too as well. Thank you for commentating. I'll check out the stream and have a nice evening.
Always a
guys.
pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank
Always
you
a
very much,
pleasure,
Night Tiger.
User was
The
moved out
next
of your
one is going to
channel.
be Miyagi.
Yeah.
User was moved to your
Hello,
channel.
Miyagi.
Greetings.
Well. Did you think you would be on the middle step of the podium?
Not at all. I was already happy with 3rd place, and I would like to thank Project PD, Puff Pirate, and Stu for making the 2nd place possible. Thank you very much, guys. That was awesome.
Oh, well, I mean, it looked like you were under a lot of pressure for most of that race from either Deluvian or from Elodie, who was chasing you. Did you think you had a lot of hard work to try and keep him behind you, or were you confident you were going to stay in the position you were in?
Well, I was confident with the position anyway, so I really wasn't under pressure. At one point, I thought I let Deluvian pass because he's significantly quicker, and I thought maybe Puff Pirate will have a comeback, and I wanted to prevent that. But then in that situation, Deluvian made a little mistake and was too far away on the long straight, and then it was like 4 laps to go. I thought, okay, now I'm trying to keep him behind me for the rest of the race and save 4th or 3rd place or whatever it will be. And there was a real hard fighting between us, and it was really close. I need to rewatch the situation in comps, I think it's called. I don't know if I could have done better, but I think I touched him, or he was touched by me on his reality, not so much on mine, and then he spun, but he said I should carry on, and so I did. And on the bus stop there was also a very close fight. I was on the outside and he on the inside. And
yes, we were watching very intently.
Okay, and I don't know what happened to him, but I was okay on the outside. I locked up a little bit, so I wasn't perfect, but I took my outside route, and then he was gone, and I was like, yay, I get that third place.
Yeah, from what we have seen, I think he was just too deep and had massive lockup and spun around.
Yeah, it's difficult on the inside to turn it around without losing the rear, so it's tricky. I like the outside route more, to be honest, if I go side by side there. And that's, I think, what I did with... No, that was just this coming. And yeah, Elodier in the end was also really hard. Like that was really hard maneuver from both of us, but it went well. And yeah, if he risked a little bit more, he would have had the place. But so I'm happy to be second.
Great job from being a guest driver at the beginning of the season to being in the middle part of the middle step of the podium. Great job, well done.
Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun to drive, I want to add. It was a great combination. Weather was also nice. Really a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to watch the stream.
Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Miyagi.
So now it's the turn of
Elodier. Let's get a short word with Elodier.
User was moved to your channel.
There he is. Hello, Elodier.
Oh, hello. I didn't expect this.
I imagine not. So, I mean, you had a great ringside seat for quite a number of battles ahead of you.
Yeah, I was third last after the start. Because I had it coming together with Paul again. Doesn't stop.
Oh, no. So, I mean, you've had real mix. I mean, I can't shake... well, you probably can, but I can't shake what happened to you at Laguna. And then suddenly now podium. That's a massively up and down season for you.
I mean, Stu gifted it to me. With running out of fuel, but I nearly grabbed it from Miyagi. I just couldn't make the one move that I had the whole race stick after catching up to him like 10 laps. I had that one move and I didn't. I wasn't fast enough.
But I mean, still kept it pretty consistent in all the craziness and being caught out early in the race to come home third. You must be pretty happy with that.
Well, yeah, but again, the top three guys, which I would have put on the podium with Puff Pirate, PD, and Stu, obviously had their little mishaps this race. So I'm happy to take together the shambles that they left and get third in the end. But it was unexpected, so yeah, I'm happy.
Great job. Well done to you. Hopefully you'll have a bit more luck heading forward. And we look forward to how the rest of the season pans out.
I mean, it's a bit unrealistic with the one result that gets taken out of the equation, but I mean, I can dream of the overall third spot in the championship.
You never know.
Now, but it's gonna be tough.
Never know. Well, good luck for the remainder of the season. Great job, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, and thanks for the commentary. I'm gonna watch it later on.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, yeah. Thanks, Elodie, and good luck for the remainder of the season.
Thank you.
User was moved out of your channel.
What a race.
That was a race, yeah. Yeah, I think
As
we can quickly recap what's happened tonight, and then I think it's time for us to end.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely crazy tonight.
Yeah, there was no way you could have foreseen some incidents, but there was no way you would imagine seeing, Stu lose it in the last. I think did Elodie say that Stu ran out of fuel?
Yeah,
I couldn't see his fuel. I couldn't see his fuel gauge, unfortunately, because on my screen the race complete thing appears right over the top of the speedo.
But that would make sense actually, because I mean, with his car, it at least seemed that's drivable, that he could manage to drive it to the finish, because it was it was basically half a lap.
and he disappeared from Team Speak pretty quickly, and
Yeah,
I'm not
I mean-
surprised he'd be livid after that.
Exactly. But yeah, crazy race. But yeah, now with a 1 week break and then a 1 week break to get it out of my mouth, and then we are heading for the championship chase with Indianapolis and Dubai. But yeah,
Oh,
next
wow.
race at Indianapolis, from one legendary track to the next one, and I think Indy could be interesting with a lot of tight corners, which means yeah, mechanical grip is important and not so much aerodynamic grip, so we will actually have, I think, cars able to follow each other. And I mean, 2 pretty long straights, which will, I think, provide a lot of action.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they do this. And Dubai the same. It's very twisty, but has got some significant straight length in it. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to get involved in those ones.
Yeah, so yeah, have a good off week, viewers, and we will see you in 2 weeks, same time again, from Indianapolis. See you next time.
Thank you very much, and good night.